what's up guys? Today, we're back with Rick! Before this review starts, I want to say this is the non-spoiler section, and then once we give our ratings, we will go into spoiler section. Today we're going to be talking about the new Black Widow movie. First of all, what did you think about it?
Exceeded my expectations. At first, thought, Black Widow movie after she's gone, will it be any good? But exceeded my expectations, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely had low expectations for this movie, but overall, I thought it was pretty fun. It's kind of like your standard run-of-the-mill Marvel movie, so yeah, it definitely exceeded my expectations. I wasn't thinking too highly of this.
Yeah, a lot of action, good story. Didn't know where they were going to run with it, and obviously dive into her past, but they did a really good job of it.
Yeah, they in this movie they kind of make a character. I wouldn't say I don't care about them, but definitely one of the lower Marvel characters I really care about. I think they make Black Widow in these movies she's ex-CIA, KGB, she's the super intense spy woman that everyone knows in every movie. That's really cliche.
They were trained by every agency on the planet. Kicks through the window and then fights 15 guys and then flies into the control booth of the train and derails it, slides in between the two train cars, all in kind of sped up slow motion. That's the strong female character.
And I think, for this movie they made me, they were able to get me to care about this character.
Yeah, humanize her. Yeah, they made her humanize her by her backstory and what she's been through.
I think the highlight of this movie for me was Red Guardian.
Yes, Red Guardian was great.
I think David brought a lot to that Red Guardian character, and I kind of hope we get to see more. We could also maybe do a flashback movie or maybe a Disney Plus series with him. I really enjoyed him in this movie.
A couple other characters, the mom person portrayed, it was okay. Nothing great, but the sister, really felt for the sister in that movie as well. So really good characters in it.
I think the weakest part of this movie for me is maybe the villain.
Yes, the fight scenes were really interesting, but when it comes down to the end, it was a letdown, I would say.
Not much of a letdown for me, but I think Taskmaster as a whole in the comics is more like he's like a B-class villain, photographic memory to match fight moves and stuff, and I think that's really cool to see for him against the Avengers. But for him to only fight up against Black Widow, it was just, I wish they just did more of this character that I really like. I think they brought a lot more to this character in Spider-Man PS4, and even in other adaptations, but in this movie, it was kind of just another standard Phase 1, Phase 2 Marvel villain that they can kind of just push off to the side.
Which is unfortunate because, Taskmaster could be a great foe for down the road, but we'll see if that carries over.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed if they added more personality or development to this character, but really it's just kind of just here for action. And that's a big thing in this movie is action.
Yeah,
this movie has got a lot of action. And I got to say, it was pretty good action, It's better than Loki. Loki's got some bad action. Yes. We'll get to that in my review next week. Bad. I think the action in this movie is pretty solid. It's your standard Marvel action. A lot of people are comparing this movie to Winter Soldier. I don't think it's up there with Winter Soldier for me.
No.
I think Winter Soldier is an A-tier Marvel movie, and this isn't an insult, but I think this is more of like a B-tier Marvel movie. I wouldn't say it's not bad. Like this is a fine movie. It's your standard Marvel movie, but I just don't think it's. I think Winter Soldier is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, it's not upper echelon
like
movie.
Maybe like top 5 for me. Yeah. This movie, maybe
middle ground.
Yeah, it's middle ground. It's a middle ground movie. This movie doesn't do anything special. This movie was supposed to kick off Phase 4, but I think WandaVision did a better job of kicking off Phase 4. It wasn't in their plan, but Phase 4 so far we've had 2 big multiverse level time-changing kind of stuff, and this is just your more grounded standard action movie since it is before Infinity War.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, it's really nice to kind of go back to those roots that Marvel usually has with their Captain America and Winter Soldier kind of movies.
Yeah, definitely just a great action movie overall, though.
But for movies like this, usually with like prequels and in-between-quels, there's not enough tension because you know what's going to happen to these characters, or at least some of these characters, some of them you really don't, but I think this movie played a lot well with tension.
It starts off right after Civil War. She's on the run, but we're diving into the history of her, and they did a great job overall.
I think a lot of enjoyment from this movie came from finally seeing a Marvel movie after 2 years of seeing one in theaters.
Back in theaters was so huge.
Yeah, that's a big deal. We love going to the theaters. We do it as much as we possibly can. It's an experience. It's our escapism. We love the theater. So it was really nice to finally get a Marvel property in the theater. Yeah, we had WandaVision, we had Winter Soldier and Loki going on, which is going great. But back in the theater,
Planting our butts in the theater, watching a Marvel hit during the summer.
yeah, it was just a feeling that I was like, I haven't forgot, but I just held
Missed
on
it.
for, yeah, just missed it for so long. And we finally got it back, so I think that's where a lot of my enjoyment came from this movie. If this movie was released if the pandemic never existed and stuff, I still think it'd be pretty enjoyable.
Yes.
I still think it's like, yeah, a safe run-of-the-mill Marvel movie, but it's definitely getting a little bit higher with me just because of the circumstances that have been going
Nostalgia.
on. That is definitely a part of the enjoyment that came for me into this movie.
I agree.
Yeah. Characterization-wise, Black Widow gets a bit more, and I think they do fine with that. Red Guardian gets a little bit. I really like Red Guardian. The villain of this movie, not really a whole lot. And there's a couple things going on with villain or set villains in this movie. I think it's fine. I think it could have been better, but. With Marvel movies, story-wise, stories are fine, but most of these movies shine with your characters. A lot of the action movies and Marvel movies, aren't really game-changing stories, but the characters that you're connected with, I think, really elevate these movies to an A tier, and I think that's why people like these movies way better than DC movies, because these characters are more fun and exaggerated, and I think that's where a lot of the enjoyment comes
And going back to what you said about the characters, they can definitely dive into Red Guardian and even Milana. Melina.
That's the thing, I didn't remember these
Melina,
characters'
the mom. They can really go back into do more with them because there's a whole life in there. When you start finding out what Red Guardian mixed up with, and some of the stuff he talks about that you have to watch to see.
Yeah,
but
really interesting.
But definitely go check it out. But they can do more with it. May not be going to the theater to see it, but they could do it on Disney Plus. But
I think these characters, maybe Red Guardian could get a Disney Plus series in the future, or maybe just an inclusion in another movie. I'd really like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of his backstory because he's a great character.
Yeah. To rate this movie, what would you give it?
I'm thinking 7 out of 10 myself.
7 out of 10?
It was action, it was fun, funny, not as bad. 7's not bad, but
Seven's standard Marvel movie, yeah. So I actually agree. I'm at the give it a 7. I was just deciding between a 7 or 8. I'm gonna give this a 7. It's a standard Marvel movie. I enjoyed it, had fun with it. Didn't really change the way I view the world or view myself. I think it's just a fun movie. Do I think it's worth $30 on Disney Plus? If you like Marvel movies, then yes. But if you feel safe enough, go to the theater and watch this. The theaters are back. Marvel movies are back now. I enjoyed seeing it in the theater. $30 on Disney Plus. If you have friends over, or if you're a big Marvel fan, yeah, go ahead. Or if this is your introduction to Marvel, and if just by yourself, I would wait. $30 is a lot just for one person watching it.
if you go to the theater, you're going to spend that anyways. But you could watch it at home. But definitely check it out. Go to the theaters or watch it at home. Kicking back in the nice recliners and just watching a really great film. Yeah, we've seen some bad ones too, but it's a great experience that we love to share, and definitely check it out.
Yeah. Yep, so that is our non-spoiler review, and now we're going to jump into spoilers. Alright, we're in the spoiler section, so if you haven't seen the movie, please leave, or if you don't care about spoilers, then go ahead and stay. There's not too much to spoil about this movie, but I guess the main reveal in this movie is that Taskmaster is the Russian guy's daughter.
Yes.
I think that's fine if Taskmaster had more character motivation or more character in general. Not a lot of character at all. I don't even think Taskmaster gets maybe 1 line or 2 lines.
Maybe if that.
Yeah. Yeah, so the action scenes where Taskmaster are fine. They're pretty good, but overall, I wish Taskmaster was a bit better for a character that I like. I know he's not A tier, I know he's more of a B tier, but I think he's just a really fun comic book villain that kind of reoccurs a lot with almost every hero. He watches every hero, he matches all of them, and keeps reoccurring with them. And this you only really see Black Widow, but you do see him use some Black Panther powers. You do see him use some Captain America. Yeah, you definitely see a blend with some of those, but in Hawkeye as well. But overall, I wish we kind of just saw more of him, or maybe. Or I'm sorry, of her, because we're in spoilers now. I wish we saw more of her, and maybe maybe we'll see her in the future. But I guess now she's a good guy because of the red thing. All right, yeah, let's get into the red thing. So basically,
The red dust.
all of the girls that are in the red room are basically under certain mind control, and basically this red serum is able to touch on their skin, and it makes them get out of that mind control, which is basically the focus in this movie of getting this red serum to all the Black Widows and to get them all their memories back, and to get out of that mind control, which is, I feel like, is pretty important in this movie. And they definitely make a big deal about this in this movie. It keeps recurring. People keep trying to get it. It's really important. They do not want their Black Widows to, get their memory back and stuff, and to be out of that mind control. Yeah, I thought that was fine. Yeah, again, it's not game changing. It's nothing crazy. It's just to get this thing and save a bunch of people with it. So I thought that was fine.
Yeah, very very good idea about getting this cure-all. So I mean, because come to find out, there's Black Widows integrated in all over the world that can destroy the economy, take down governments. They're embedded everywhere, and so this is really important to get this serum, because or they're gonna be stuck like that, and
no free will. That's the main part.
Yeah, no free will. Yes, exactly.
They didn't get to live the lives that they. That's one thing is Natasha's sister explained how they forced a hysterectomy on them. Like, just stuff like that kind of really adds to the villains, and really adds to these characters as well, that they do not get to have children. They don't get to have like the lives that they wanted, because it's been taken away from them. Such she was only like 3 years old when they adopted her. So yeah, that's pretty crazy to me. Didn't even think about stuff like that.
Yeah, they dive into the red room, so get a little more in depth about what they do to these girls and make them the best assassins. And if you can't have kids, then there's no attachment, and so they take that away from them. And then the ones who don't meet the standards, they're taken out, they're killed off, and then bodies are just tossed. So they're the elite of the elite, and so the red room's still going on after all this time, after Natasha thought she destroyed it.
Yeah, she thought she killed the leader, but really, and that's the main part of this movie, is she had to blow up his daughter, which becomes Taskmaster blows up his daughter, and thought, that's the best way to get to him. There was no body found.
Casualty of war.
Yeah, and her and Hawkeye thought they got him. They didn't, and not only they didn't even kill the daughter, which gives the daughter, as Taskmaster, motivation to go after Black Widow. But I guess that's one thing I have, is when she gets the serum on Taskmaster doesn't want to kill her anymore. I think if I was because she's like, I'm under control of this terrible person, and I forgive you. No, I feel like I would still want to kill Black Widow if she tore off half of my face with an explosion.
Exactly. She was just more concerned that her father's gone, but your father used and abused you, but yeah, he saved you, and Black Widow disfigured you, and so
it's a bit of a dicey.
Yeah, but they had to try to end it on a good note. So
yeah, Red Guardian's a piece of shit, and we don't go over in this movie. They kind of just forget about it. I know he feels bad for sending off Black Widow and her sister for them being a part of the Red Room, but like
part of the Red Army, they was doing his job. They was just going to act like a family just long enough to get this information from S.H.I.E.L.D.
And I guess the main lesson's like, you act like a family, but really they kind of did bond as a family. They all really start to get close to each other. At the start of the movie, you don't get the sense that he feels bad at all. Like, at the movie, it would make me feel a little bit more for this character if Red Guardian was sending them off, and he was like, oh, I feel really bad for this. He was like, sending him off, that was an annoying 3 years, man. Never doing that again. I hate this assignment. So I really I don't know, I guess over time you could think stuff, but that was one thing that was holding me back on Red Guardian and holding me back on their family dynamic. Because at the end of the movie, like, oh, we're family, we all love each other. No, I feel like that's a pretty big deal to me.
Yeah, he was pretty cold and just an agent doing his job, and it carried over. And when they start talking about it, it really hits home. The girls always thought that that's my family. That you're my mom, you're my dad, and they just really were cold to him. Yeah. And no, I was doing a job, and that gets really hard hitting there.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, I gotta agree with that.
Definitely didn't know. I had premonition or thoughts ahead about who was going to be Taskmaster, so they definitely threw that off. I thought I was set, so this is what's going to happen. Nope, totally wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah.
There was some double crossing, and wow, it really threw me, and I wasn't expecting that. So it was great to see and to prove me wrong.
Yeah, it's always nice to be proven wrong when it comes to like guessing who's who and who's which character's character. But I have to say, I didn't really find it that compelling. I like being proven wrong when I'm guessing whose character, who's gonna be due, and I just didn't find it that compelling though. Still, like it was just nice to be like, I was proven wrong, but again, I didn't really find it that compelling for me.
Yeah, I was still underwhelmed about Taskmaster, but I was happy that it wasn't who I thought it was. So that was great story writing because everyone else is going to think, "Oh, I know who it is." Well,
I
might be
was
wrong.
pretty certain that the sister or the mother was gonna be the main double crossing. It was like I was behind it the whole
Right.
time. No, not really. They're just assholes at the start of the movie.
Yes.
So yeah, it was really bad. Oh, I think this is the first Marvel movie that has a really long opening credits.
It did. It was very long. I was waiting for the movie to start, and we're still going through names. It took me back to the 1990s when they used to do it.
Yeah. I don't think any Marvel's ever had like an opening credits like that.
Nope.
Usually it's like here's the Marvel title, the logos, and then here's the little action scene title. This one had maybe about like it was Nirvana's "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and it
A
was
slow down version. It was really cool sound.
Yeah, it was-
But they played the entire "Smells Like Teen Spirit" while they go through the
a long opening credits.
opening credits. Yeah.
And I was just, as I was watching
good.
it, it's got some really good footage in it though. It
Yeah.
kind of showed their lives as they were in little girls going through the Red Room and stuff, and I thought that was really interesting. That was done really well. And then it's very like 90s espionage or like Mission Impossible kind of opening credits. So I was fine with it. It's the first Marvel movie to do it, so that kind of caught me off guard. I
Yes.
usually expect the title and here we go, but yeah, long opening credits. I was fine with it. I was cool
It
with
worked
it.
out well.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. Action's pretty over top in this one. There's an entire sequence of when they blow up the Red Room, they are free falling from the sky for maybe about like 3 minutes.
Right.
There's the whole like, if you add all of it together, it's free falling for 3 whole minutes of just tussling and stuff.
To go back before that, the Red Room is up in the sky. That's
Oh,
how I know
yeah.
where to find it. And so obviously Natasha does the job, blows it up, or with the team, with the family.
Actually, her mom
Her
did,
mom.
so you didn't pay attention to the movie.
But the team effort blew up the Red Room. They finally get their revenge, and as they're falling out of the sky, there's a reaction.
It was like a video game. And like, there's a sequence in Force Unleashed 2 when you blow up a ship and you're free falling to Camino, and that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like video game basic stuff. So I thought it was fun. You know, it's certain sequences like that you got to turn off your brain. Not as bad as Fast and Furious. You have to remember that. You don't have to turn your brain off. You don't have to go brain dead. You can just turn your brain off. I thought that was fun, you know? Like, I didn't really hate that at all. I think the best action sequence for me was probably when Natasha went against all the Black Widows. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, that was.
I was
She
really...
was out. She took a beating, and they made it look realistic, and she was taking it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that sequence. I thought that was really good action. It kept me pretty involved in that. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that.
One thing I was upset about was the fight between Red Guardian and Taskmaster was really short.
I
They just
figured
showed
it was
a
gonna
few
be
things here
short.
and there, but I was wanting a bit more.
You see all of it in the trailer.
basically.
Yeah, that was crazy short. I was wondering maybe they filmed more of that and then just cut it. No, I'm pretty sure that was basically all they filmed. Yeah. One sequence I did like, which is again ridiculous, but I think more grounded, is when they break him out of prison. I thought that was fun.
That was
I
good.
thought that was a really fun action sequence. Also, I love how he's just like living in the old glory days, and he's trying to put on his suit the whole time,
That's
and he's
hilarious.
gotten fat, and so he's really funny in this movie.
Yes.
Like generally some pretty good jokes. Really enjoyed that character a lot, and I like he sings the trumpet noise before he pressed the action figure, and the action figure made the trumpet noise that his character in Russia has the stigmatism about. I like that. It's just really fun to me, and I liked how they gave him this
His
action-
glory days.
Yeah, I like that. It's just so fun. And the whole sequence of him arm wrestling,
Yes.
and he just breaking their arms. It's like, oh, you're gonna be. He just
That
breaks
was
the
great.
dude's arm. Yeah, and also he talks about how he has fought with Captain America.
Yes.
And you don't know if that's true or not because he was like, I can't think of a year, and he says a year, and that was a year during when Captain America was still frozen in ice. So I'm thinking he's lying about it, or maybe he fought one of the other Captain Americas because
Oh, yes.
Winter Soldier brought
Winter
in that
Soldier
they did a lot of super soldier tests on African Americans, so.
So which Captain America did he
Yeah,
fight?
so maybe he fought a different Captain America, maybe one not won the suit or something. I think that's up for interpretation. I think he's lying, for the clout, but I think that'd be pretty fun.
Natasha if Captain America mentioned him, so
That is true as well. I didn't think about that. That's right. He was. That also could be of him, like, hey, fun. You remember that? Like, so, you know, because
Right.
he's more all about himself. But
Yes.
still, didn't think about that. So maybe.
Maybe.
So.
Like I said, it'd be great if they could go back and do something more with the Red Guardian, like in Disney Plus. Like I said, it won't be a movie, but it could do something. I mean, compelling, interesting character.
Yeah, I like some of the scenes of Natasha and her sister talking. They're at a gas station, they're just having a beer. Just really nice stuff like that. Talking about like, what would you do after this? And it's like, would you have a kid? And she's like, I would have a dog, you know? And they just talk about stuff like that. There's also a joke about the vest. I really like that. That was a funny joke to me. I thought that was a good joke. Thought that was delivered really well. I really like the chemistry between those two.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was done really well. I thought at the start of the movie, when she's watching the James Bond movie, I thought there was going to be a parallel with that. And I was like, oh, it's foreshadowing.
Right.
It wasn't.
Why they bring it in and
It wasn't really foreshadowing,
just
maybe a
watch the
little
movie.
bit. But yeah, it wasn't really foreshadowing. I don't even know what James Bond that one was. It was one in the 70s, I think.
Yeah, it's from the 70s.
Because it had Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws in it.
Yeah.
But you know, no casualties. I thought maybe someone might not make it.
Yeah, I thought maybe the
But
mom was going to die, or maybe
possibly the sister, but
I thought the sister was really gonna double cross him the whole movie, but the more we watch the movie, it's like there's no way. Like, they have a genuine relationship, you know.
but you have to stay for the end credits.
Yeah,
Or
they were
credits.
really interesting. Yeah, so in Falcon and Winter Soldier, they bring in Valentina, who's basically recruiting, maybe not villains, but she's on the villain side. She is. She's on the villain side. I don't really know her character.
Mercenaries. She
Yeah.
wants mercenaries to
Yeah.
do whatever she wants.
Yeah, I don't really know the character in the comics, to be honest. And interesting enough, you know, she recruits U.S. Agent and the classic, you know, black U.S. Agent stuff, and you know, he's a bit more hardcore. He's, you know, so I'm excited to see what she's gonna do with that. But she, at the end credits, is her name Amelia?
What was that?
Elena.
sister?
Elena.
Elena.
That's it. That's the thing is, I do not remember any of the characters' names. That's one thing about this movie. Elena is at Natasha's funeral because this is after Endgame. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I was like, oh dang, you know, we're already seeing how she reacted to her sister's death, so that was really interesting. And then Valentina shows up, and she's making her jokes, and she's like, actually, I need you for something. And she pulls up a picture of Hawkeye, and she's like, this is the dude who killed Black Widow. So I'm pretty sure they'll run into. She won't be the main villain, I think, in the Hawkeye series, but I think they'll run into her and have a tussle. But it's Hawkeye and his daughter.
Right.
So I'm excited for that. Yeah, I like the idea of a Hawkeye show. I really like that whole ideal. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, I think that'll add another little weight to it. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty interested to see what that. I thought it was gonna be Shang-Chi or Eternals.
Right.
I 100% knew it wasn't gonna be Spider-Man. I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot. It wasn't gonna be Spider-Man.
I was hoping for something, but yeah, this was
I was fine with it,
a
yeah.
curveball. Wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, again, another curveball I wasn't really expecting, so which I'm fine with. I don't think we'll get a Spider-Man trailer until after Loki, and even then, I don't want to watch it because everything about that movie has been leaked,
Right.
rumored at least. So yeah, final verdict. I gave a 7 out of 10. You gave a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10, yeah.
Anything else you want to mention?
Just make sure you go see it. You know, either Disney Plus or in theaters. You know, because it's worth it.
Especially if you're a Marvel fan or a comic book
Yeah,
fan.
and yeah, you'll be enjoyed with it, I would think.
Yeah, it exceeded my expectations. I did not think it was gonna be that well. Like, the trailers didn't wow me at all. I was like, really gonna Black Widow movie? I think it's a little too late for it. I liked it, and it's not just because we're back in the theater seeing a Marvel movie. Overall, I liked it. It's fine. Not a top 10 movie for me. Not a top 10 Marvel movie. I really hope you guys like it. I think if you're a Marvel fan, you're gonna like this one, especially if being back in the theaters. Yeah, overall pretty enjoyable. Anywho, I know I only uploaded one video last month. I got really busy with work, but the next video should be either a Loki series review, probably with him again, or I still haven't seen Fast 9. I gotta do that.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody. Hopefully you can see is maybe a sketch. I'll explain that in the next video, but we'll also probably have him in that. I watched The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I didn't think I needed to do a review on it. It was fine. It wasn't that good, if I'm being honest. I also watched Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. It's fine. You know, I think the first one's better, but this was fine. But yeah, hey, you guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Look who didn't make a noise of the whole video. Yeah, he's a good boy. Yes, I should show you.